So I'm in the middle of breaking a curse right now, and I'm learning some tips and tricks about how to handle curses. Not only return it to sender, also reject their power. Anything and everything that they could have used to curse you. Their voice, their mind, their magic, their altar. Encompassing, okay? Pick a thing. It's going to depend on who you are and the situation that you're in and the practitioners or practitioner that you may be up against. However, okay, rejection, reject. Reject means to throw. So what has been put in your direction, you throw it again. I reject this. No longer will it be in my vicinity. It is gonna be gone. I reject their power of this and their power of this and their power of this. And I reject and reject and reject. Done. And I reject that power forever, which means anytime that power lands here, it will be thrown again. Anytime that power lands here, it will be thrown again. Keep that away from me. Thank you. Ugh. I just personally do not have the time or the patience in this time in my life to deal with this BS. So get it up off me and keep it away. And that's what I have to say about it, okay? If you're somebody who's working on curse stuff, and part of the reason this is coming up, all right, let's talk about it astrologically. Not me shouting and yelling, I'm feeling the fervor of it. Because Pluto's not in Capricorn anymore, Pluto wasn't in Capricorn for the previous Capricorn season 2024, but it was in Pluto and Capricorn for the majority of Scorpio season and Pluto in 2024. And Pluto rules Scorpio. So even though we had a Capricorn season last year that was free of Pluto, we did not have a Scorpio season free of Pluto for the entire time in Capricorn specifically. So this year we get the full effect of the new era of Pluto in Aquarius, which means Capricorn season is going to have a lot of different, could be cursed stuff, but secrets, generally speaking, that are coming to the surface about things that have been done, things you have already started to unspin. This is something I've been working on for years, okay? And sometimes undoing curses does take years. It doesn't make you a worse off practitioner. If anything, if you can hold the resistance to something that somebody, you know what I mean? That takes a lot to do that. Anyways, not to toot my own horn, I'm grateful that we're getting done because I would like to be finished with this. It has been around for a while. The spirits have asked me to be so patient because one of the things about curses like this, one of the things I say about curses is that curses, if you're a practitioner, they're just a magic you don't understand yet, which means if you dive into the darkness, if you're brave enough to course the darkness, okay, and you look the curse straight in the face, hopefully I'm not the curse straight in your face, Jesus. Anyways, moving on. If you could look it straight in the face, okay? And you say, oh, that's how it works, and I can see how it works there. Now you have a tool. Oh, that's how it works, and I can see how it works there. Now you have another tool. Not only do you see the tools that they've used, you have your own repertoire and own tool set to work against it, which means you're going to sharpen up your inhibition and you're sharpening up. There's a lot of other ways to look at that, but that's the way that I look at it, okay? One of the ways that I look at it. The curse is off, yeah. Do we have the time? I don't know about you, but I don't have the time for this stuff anymore. Also, on a general note, I'm tired of other practitioners coming after other practitioners unjustified. Oh, that's a whole other story for a whole other time. Because the thing about it is super ancestrally connected. So dang, I was not going to talk about all of this in this video. I was just going to give you tips and tricks at the beginning for getting cursed. But now here we are. We're going to talk about the specifics. All right, if you're with me, you're with me. Let's move on. Crazy. I am feeling kind of crazy today, but you know what? I'm here for it. So ancestrally speaking, if there is trauma in your lineage, and I'm going to speak on a personal level, okay, from experience, this is something that I have lived through. If you have trauma in your lived experience, not just on an ancestral level, you're an ancestor too, right? So it probably is going to be familial connected, family connected, ancestor connected. Trauma, that bad things, stuff that you have lived through, that you have yet to go through and fortify. So you haven't gone back, looked at it, healed it, looked at it from a whole bunch of different sides, patched it up, etc. Made yourself basically like that shadow of trauma cannot be a back door that somebody can use against you. That takes a lot of work, okay? And we all come from a lot of different shadowed stuff. So very nuanced. And more than likely, there's also an ancestral door somewhere way back when, and probably there's more than one. Okay, it's probably not just one, it's probably more than one. That now once you realize your story, now you're going to go back through and put those doors to rest, all right? Close those up because we don't want to hear anymore either. Sorry it happened to you. Sorry you felt like you had to do it. I'm not doing it here though, so we got to put it down. Thank you. Okay, so even if the curse itself isn't justified, stay with me, okay? Even if the curse itself isn't justified from a person-to-person situation, curses are very, very ancestrally nuanced, right? We know this. This is why a youngin' practitioner, palm-colored folk would not want to come against somebody who has lineages and lineages and lineages upon them. Okay, right. Justified ancestrally, curse work is a thing. Okay. So if you're working through ancestral stuff, you're working on justice stuff, except the etceteras of that pocket, okay? There's a lot of other layers to that, right? But the etceteras of that pocket, you're working on the justice, you're working on it. Then even if a practitioner were to come against you in a personally unjustified way, if you have any of those doors open within the shadows, or there's ancestral doors within the shadows, not me looking at the hallway every time that I freaking say that. Interesting. Anyways. Now that curse has a place to get through, whether it's in your experience or it's in your ancestral experience, which means even if on a personal level, again, it is not a justifiable curse, okay, scales unbalanced for maybe hundreds of years. So you gotta go look at it. So that's what I mean, okay, especially for people who look like me and come from people who might be like the people that I come from, who may not be super nice, okay. Going back and realizing that curses are just magic that you don't know yet. Now you have the ability to say, wait a minute, take a step back. I can sit in a neutral perspective. Is it a little scary? Yeah, that's what I mean. You got to brave the shadows. You got to brave the darkness. I can sit in a neutral perspective. How is this benefiting that other person? I talked about this in a video recently, neutrality. How did it benefit that person to curse me? How did it happen in the first place? How were they able to put that curse on me? From my experience, from their experience, what was our relationship? Okay, now that we're separated, what does that look like? Positives and negatives for both of us. Then you look at the ancestral lineages. Okay, I've heard stories about that family, or spirits told me about that family, or I could look at the world and I could see how they relate to society and privilege, etc. And I can look at my family and I can do the same and look at our stories, etc. Okay, well, now that I know that stuff, now I can look at those holes. And I'll say this too at the very end. I had an evil, nasty woman come into my life many years ago, which this is the thing that I'm working on getting off of me right now. Okay, so just, reverence to that. And also, I know that she came into my life so that I was able to fortify all of those holes I've been talking about. Okay, I was able to go through and patch them all up so that now moving forward, I've seen what happens when people try to come against me. I had to earn it. Sometimes people are going to cross your path, especially if you look like me and come from people like me. Again, I'm going to say it again, okay? Ancestral scales are unbalanced. All right. There might be a practitioner placed on your path just so that you are able to now go through and earn the justice so that curses like that can't ever come against you again. But it takes time to do that. It takes freaking time, okay? It takes a lot of time. If I could have had this done years ago, I would have had it done years ago. And I feel the spirits laughing at me as I say it. Oh, and look it, there's ravens in the tree across the street. Interesting. Love you, ravens. Is earning the justice and protection of the spirits? Yeah, you better bet you that's going to take some time. You got to be patient and you got to be willing to do the heavy lifting. Because if you're not, y'all know how serious the spirits are. You know how easily they could swoop us up and take us out literally whenever they wanted to. As long as it's justified. You know what I mean? And honestly, sometimes, well, it's risky out here. You really get into the work and you realize, oh, geez. Yeah. Anyways, I didn't mean to make this video almost 9 minutes long. It's probably going to be 9 minutes by the time that I finish it. That's crazy. I'm packing up and heading out. So gratitude, reverence, and love to you. Me and my messy braids, okay, are going to go do what we came to do. As this is my life, I'm going to do what I came to do, okay? No matter what gets in my way, even if it takes me years, okay? Keep up the brew you need to do. Oh my God. I don't know what has gotten into me recently, but clearly something. I'm full of jokes and full of like... me tap dancing, the cat's freaked out. Anyways, I love you guys, okay? Have a great day. Enjoy the holiday celebrations. I know different holidays are celebrated at different times, so whenever you're celebrating, enjoy the celebrations. Super good. Good luck getting the curses off you if that's something that you're working on. I'm done. Okay, we're getting it done. We're getting it finished because I'm really, really done with this. We're finished. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Also true.